Welcome back to Life, Death, and Everything in Between. We're mixing it up this time. We're going to be doing more of the in-between today. So we talked about from our other podcast that Brian and I, we love sports, and this is our favorite time of year. We've got football going on. So we're going to be doing some spreads. So Brian, why don't you talk about the format here?
Well, the format we're going to use, we're going to do a combination of 8 games, pro, college, and we'll do at least one high school game a week. Preferably Albia. We may, if there's a local game that's good, we'll go ahead and do a good local high school game. And we're going to use the format where you win, you get 1 point, and at the end we'll come around and everybody gets their lock pick, and that will be for 4 points.
And this is against the spread for every game.
Against the spread.
So the other thing is, with us talking sports, we might as well say it right now. Stephen A. Smith, Colin Cowherd, whoever else, they might as well set aside because the boys are in town and we're probably going to take this whole space over.
And I'm the new Lee Corso.
So as we go on with that, we've added a third host. I know you guys are probably sick of seeing me and Brian, so we thought we better bring in one more, and that is Wes Aeschliman of State Farm. So he's going to be our host through this entire thing with us. So Wes, what do you got to say?
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. I'm super excited to see what comes out of this deal. Excited to watch some good football games and have a little fun with you guys. So especially our weekly guests. Yeah, it'll be exciting to see who we can get on and go from there.
Yeah, and if you look above us, you'll see we've got a UNI hat and we've got a Hawkeye hat. That's because Brian played for UNI back in the 50s, and then Wes played for Iowa in some of the great glory years there in the early 2000s, where they had some really good teams. Dan and I, you don't see our helmets up there because they are in the Hall of Fame, so that's why you don't see them here at the moment. But maybe we can get those out sometime.
We see your shiny helmet right now. So.
Yeah, thank you, buddy. So Wes mentioned that we have a weekly guest, and for week 1, that guest is going to be Dan Stocker, who is the president of First Iowa State Bank. And before I pass it to Dan to introduce, we did forget to say one thing. As we are going through this, we make our picks. If you win, if our guest, which is Dan today, beats us, he has to beat all 3 of us, then we have to give money to a local charity. That would be Wes at State Farm will give a $100 donation, along with Sinnott Funeral Home and our podcast, Life, Death, and Everything in Between will give a $100 donation. And we haven't told Dan this yet, but if he gets last, he has to do the same thing. So we figure a bank president can probably afford to give to a local charity. So, Dan, welcome.
I appreciate it. I know you're setting the bar low, so the rest of the season you can get better guests, and that's going to be great. And I don't know, can I disclose my charity? Can we get that out now?
We can get that out right now.
I'm hoping to win, so that Welcome Home Soldier Monument will get that. I guess it's getting it either way, whether it's from me or from you guys.
Very good.
But yeah, Welcome Home Soldier is going to be the charity of the week, and I've got my spreadsheets all put together, just breaking it down, so I'm ready to go.
Perfect. So with that, we're going to get right into it.
Just another addition, we may be throwing in a couple Davis County Mustang games on the agenda sometimes too.
We're going to sneak some in there. And
yes.
a couple Bulldogs will sneak in there.
Yes.
There was one other thing we had to say. This is the fun part. Once we get rolling here a few weeks, we're probably going to need some of our listeners' helps. What we're going to do is we're going to be putting a poll out there. And what that is, we're going to have you guys vote on there's going to be a competition between Wes, myself, and Brian for whoever wins overall. Whoever gets last at the end of the year, you guys get a vote on what the person that gets last has to do. So it's going to be some embarrassing stuff. So we'll have a list of things. You guys vote, and then that's what we're going to do at the end. So we're going to need your help.
Okay. So you're just now popping this on us.
You should know me by now.
Wow.
So you better. I hope you guys did your studying. We know Dan's got all kinds of paperwork with him, so he's ready to roll.
Bob probably looks good in a tutu. Just throwing that out there for y'all.
So before we get started with the picks, let's talk about the AP poll that just came out, the top 25, which we had some changes. This is, as far as I'm concerned, we finally are into a real AP poll. You got some games playing, you got your preseason, AP poll, but until the games really start playing, now we got a real one. And there's been some changes out there. We got a change at the top. We got Ohio State now at number 1.
Hey, they won it all last year until they get knocked off the throne. Why not?
And then Texas was number 1. They went all the way down to number 7. That's a pretty big jump down for a top 10 matchup, isn't it?
I thought
It's
that
a
was
big
little.
drop.
I thought that was a pretty severe drop for them.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a close game. You thought it'd be a one-score game either way. Ohio State won it, but I didn't think Texas dropped that far. I'm a little surprised. LSU jumped up as far as they did. I know it was a big win against Clemson, but I thought there was some wiggle room there.
For sure. Notre Dame, they dropped a little bit after their loss to Miami, and Miami took a big jump up too. They went up to number 5, which they looked awfully tough. Iowa State's hanging tough there at number 16.
Yeah, we're going to find out this week whether that's legit.
That is for
Yep,
sure.
I
And
can see them going up after this week.
And the shocking thing is, if you look at the other receiving votes, I'm surprised Iowa doesn't have one single vote.
Yeah.
I thought they'd at least get a vote. What about you, Dan?
Well, yeah, I'm going to say no, but yeah, seriously, when you look at the teams that did receive votes, Iowa certainly should be in there.
I would
They
think so, yeah.
Albany wasn't much of a test, and they didn't have to do much to win, and so they did what they needed to. But you look at some of those other teams, James Madison had a big win, but why wouldn't Iowa not get a vote? Duke, same kind of, at least get a vote.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, are we ready to get right into our picks?
Let's do it.
Game 1, we've got Albia at Central Lee, and this can be a straight-up pick. We are going to start with Dan picking.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. I think this one's going to be a big game for the Blue Demons. Obviously we're all living in Albany here, and so that's where we bleed a little blue. Central Lee always looks good coming off the bus. I mean, every time you see them, they always have some really big guys up front. I think for the Blue Demons, after a tough loss last week on a neutral home field over in Eddyville, I think this is time for them to bounce back, especially straight up. I'm going to go with the Blue Demons, and it's always hard for me to pick against them no matter what. So Blue Demons is my straight up pick.
I really don't know a whole lot about either one of them. And I know Central Lee beat Van Buren 28-0. Albia scrimmaged Van Buren. So just not knowing enough on it, I'm going to have to go with Albia.
Yeah, I would say, Albia is 0-1. Central Lee is 1-0. We are traveling to Central Lee, but I really think Albia is going to get their first victory in this game. So I'm taking Albia also.
Yeah, I'm similar to you guys. I am in the same boat. I had a little insight from one of the coaching staff earlier this week. They're, coming off of that loss. They're excited to get back to work and come back into this game. So I'm going Albia all the way, going.
Yep. So did we all take Albia for the first game? All right.
did.
Don't let us down, Blue.
Yep.
We did.
Big
Here we
Blue.
go. Roll Demon.
That's going to take us to our second game. And this one we will start with Wes. We've got Michigan at Oklahoma. This is 2 ranked teams. One of the few games, I think, this week with 2 college-ranked teams.
Not a very good week for college
It's not.
matchups.
So you're not going to see a lot of college games up here for us picking. But we got Oklahoma minus 2.5 at home. Wes, who you taking?
Okay, I'm gonna roll with the Sooners on this one. And I am not nearly as prepared as Dan for this. But I like to go with my gut most of the time, and that's I'm going to go with OU.
Yeah, Michigan had a heck of a season last year. I expect them to be right there again this year. But Oklahoma at home, I'm going to have to pick Oklahoma also, minus 2.5.
I just don't think Oklahoma is the Oklahoma teams of past. So I'm going hail to the victors. I'm going with Michigan.
Well, we got one to break it up. I'm going to also go with Oklahoma. I think very tight. I will say too, as we get through these games, they're all tight spreads. I really appreciate that. First week, we don't even know what we got, and you're doing tight spreads. But I think Oklahoma at home, their offensive lineman, their 5-star, he got hurt on Michigan, so he's down. I think that quarterback's a little too cocky for me. So I'm going to go with Oklahoma and take that, give up those points.
Maybe he's just confident, Dan.
That's the other word of it. Yes. Yeah. We'll see. We'll find out. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
So there we got 3 Oklahoma picks and 1 Big Ten pick. So our third game of the week, and we will be starting with Dan, and we're going to the NFL on this one. So we got Steelers at Jets, and the Jets are plus 2.5.
Yeah, and I think this one's tough for me. Teams traded quarterbacks. You don't hardly see that. It's the first game of the season. They each got the opposite team's quarterback for the year. It's hard for me to not to go with the Jets. I got Breece Hall there, so I'm a former Iowa State fan, so that's always a good one for me. But I'm going to take the Steelers on this one. I just think that the tried and true. I think Rodgers is maybe a little more focused with his now new team, and so we'll see if he can get that victory to start the season off for the Steelers.
Yeah, this is a tough pick. Not a fan of either one of them. I'll guarantee you that. But I just think the Steelers probably got a little bit too much. So I'm going to go with Pittsburgh.
You're taking Pittsburgh.
I know it.
You hate Pittsburgh.
It hurts. It hurts. It hurts.
This is is Fields, is he healthy? Is he playing? Do we know?
Russell Wilson's,
Isn't Fields on the Jets now?
Yeah, Justin Fields, he should be starting.
Yeah, because he was banged up a little bit, but I think if he's
Yeah, they
starting.
traded the quarterbacks.
Okay, yeah. So, Aaron Rodgers kind of reminds me of you a little bit, Wes. He's always trying to do this up and coming. What's this new health thing? That's something that you would do. Maybe what's the bed sheets and stuff you buy?
Yeah, grounding sheets.
The grounding sheets. I'm sure he's got all those also. So
Yeah.
So I'm expecting you to definitely take the Steelers on this. But
Okay.
I think I'm going to go with my Fields. I was the big Fields guy. I'm a big Bears fan. And I think he's ready to light it up this year. So I'm taking the Jets plus 2.5.
Okay. Well, I did way more research on grounding sheets than I did on my football players. So, I am, flying blind a little bit, but I'm gonna roll with Baker on this. I think as much as I don't necessarily love to, I'm gonna take the Steelers. And then I also, feel like, Dan, you'd have some people disappointed with you at the bank if you didn't as well. So I'm going to roll with the majority here and go with the Steelers.
So I'm the only Jets pick. I
Jets
like
guy.
it. I like it. That was my first point. That might be my lock. And now I'm doing that.
if you win, I'll be happy for you.
That's going to take us. This might be the NFL game of the week right here. We got the Ravens
Absolutely.
at the Bills, and that is the Sunday night game. Bills minus 1.5.
Okay, my pick.
Your pick.
Okay, so I know that this doesn't mean much, but back when I was playing, I had a buddy of mine. His name's Marshall Yonda. You guys might have heard of him.
Yeah.
Pretty big player for the Baltimore Ravens. So I feel like he'd be disappointed in me
Did
if
you
I didn't
did
go.
you call him up before this?
I didn't. I probably should have. I probably should have got some insight. He might still be in tune, but I'm going to go with the Ravens.
I mean, I don't know if you can go wrong with either one of these picks. Allen's Allen, so I don't know. It's hard to go against him, as quarterback for Buffalo. But Baltimore is tough. Either one of these teams could win a Super Bowl this year. There's no doubt. And I really think I'm going to take the Ravens. I just think their quarterback is hard to stop. I expect them to be good in every aspect of the game. So I just feel like the Ravens are the pick.
Great matchup. Yep. Great matchup for week one. Tough one. Like both quarterbacks. Good defense. I think I'm going to go, due to the fact that the Bills are at home, I'm going to take the Bills.
Does Allen have any MVPs?
Last year he won it,
So, between these two guys, they'd have a handful of MVP
Right.
awards. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think at the end of this season, I think you'll see both these teams in the AFC Championship game, and they're that good. It's a tough one, really, to start the season out. Somebody's going to start 0-1. So really good teams. But and last year they both averaged 30-plus points a game. So it's going to be a nice, high-scoring game, which will be a fun one on Sunday night. I'm going to go though with the Bills. The Ravens 1-4 under Harbaugh under his career. Buffalo's on 11-plus wins. They've won the opening season games. So they start a little more hot, a little more fresh, ready to roll. Yep. You got two MVPs going at it, so we're going to go with the Bills on this one.
Look at the research. Look at the research. Throw that paper away.
Actually, I got all my information from AI.
Paragraphs like that.
So what do we got? We 2-2 there. We got.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, we're split. We're split on that game. So next game, the Chiefs at the Chargers. We got the Chargers plus 3.5, and this game is in Brazil, so there's not really a home field advantage.
Oh, it is.
Yeah. That's what's really weird. I mean, again, two great teams going at it that are going to be in contention, and they're in Brazil. And I don't know. For me, I'm looking. It's tough for me. I want to go Chiefs, but I also think I don't know if there's the engagement hangover, the Kelsey engagement hangover, if that's going to affect things. So I think
they got engaged.
Oh, God.
I didn't know that.
Didn't know that. It was subtle. They did it quietly. Really didn't tell many people.
Right before the season,
Only the Swifties. We know.
I'll have to get by a People magazine.
But I'm going with the Chargers on this one, though. So it's a tough pick, though, for sure. But I'm going to go with the Chargers.
I went down a couple years ago when the Lions played the Chiefs. Chiefs, not a very good first game. team. So I think I'm going to go with the upset, and I'm going to go with the Chargers.
Wow, we got 2 Chargers picks right off the bat. So, okay. And I think I'm doing the same thing for 2 reasons. It's the Chiefs. Nothing against them. You think I like them more because they're so close, and I've been to many games, but it's just, I'm sick of it. And I don't know why it is, but it is what it is. And I think they're all going to be worried about this marriage and this wedding coming up. So I think they're all planning for the wedding. So they're not going to be ready to play at all. So I'm taking the Chargers.
Okay, all right. I feel like I'm going to buck the system here a little bit.
I knew you would.
Yeah, I'm going to buck the system. I've
You're
got
a Swiftie.
Well, I am that. I am that. Yes. Yep. My wife as well. So we enjoy that. But also, I've got a young chief in the household that is super pumped about the Chiefs and where they're headed and where they're going, and so I'm going to go with the Chiefs here.
He would not be happy if you picked against him.
He would not. I would never hear the end of it, to be honest.
So we got 1 Chief pick and 3 Charger picks. I would have not thought that at all.
Red Kingdom, baby.
They're talking about Taylor Swift. In our days, it was Debbie Gibson.
I don't know who that is. You know who that is?
No, not a clue. Not a clue.
All right, let's move to the next game after this Debbie Gibson talk. So the big game here, folks. Woo! We've got the Lions at the Packers. Packers minus 2.5 at Lambeau. Wow,
Who we got? What's the big matchup here? Somebody give me some background.
Well,
Tell
I'm
me
not
what's going on.
sure Micah Parsons is going to be available to play because he's got a back issue.
That's a big trade that just happened.
Okay.
Jordan Love, let's not forget, that broke his left-handed thumb, and so he's not played since then. So,
Okay.
but relatively, the Lions are pretty healthy.
Yeah, I was gonna say I feel like I know who you're picking.
Yep,
Got a pretty good idea on that.
absolutely.
We'll use that reverse psychology to get the pick out of him.
Yeah, I had a pretty good idea. But yeah, so man, Lions at Packers. I got to go with the Lions on this one.
Okay. Probably a good pick.
Hope
They
so.
are the defending NFC North champions, correct?
Lions?
Yeah. Okay. There's one big elephant in the room, though, when it comes to the Lions. They lost their offensive coordinator and their defensive coordinator. That's a big thing. Now they got a heck of a head coach, one of my favorite coaches in the game. But I just feel like they may need a little bit of time to get their team completely ready. And the Packers isn't a game you just want to have to go in there and not be completely ready to roll. So I'm taking the Pack at home, and they're tough at home, and I'm just taking the Pack minus 2.5.
Lions by many.
Lions by many.
Who brought the cat?
Yeah, what's that?
That's the Northern Irish Panther. That's actually the Panther route.
Is that a kitten?
There's a predator stalking the nation.
So we know who Brian's taking.
Yeah, and I really wanted to come out different, just to try to separate here, because I'm afraid it's like if we all tie, then I guess I'm the loser on the week, so I don't want that. But it's hard for me to go against the Lions. I just like that team the way they're coached, and I do think Micah Parsons, if he was healthy, that might sway me over to the Packers. But I think he's the L4 and 5 are not in good shape, and so that's going to hurt him in the game, and or if he plays at all. So I think that hurts that defense after trading away their starting defensive tackle to boot. So I think. I'm going to go with the Lions. We're going with that upset, but it's kind of with the majority.
We got 3 Lions picked to 1 Green Bay pick. I think that's the second game I'm on my own. I like it.
Well, that's not surprising.
We're gonna be out with a big lead after week 1. I have a good feeling.
Yep, me too.
And that's gonna put Dan will be first on this pick, and we got another big one in the NFC North. The Vikings at the Bears, and that's the Monday night special at Soldier Field.
Yeah, and I know you're a Bears fan. Who put this on Monday night? What's this game getting us for? There's some good games, and this is the Monday night
Exactly
game.
right. The Bears.
The Bears. This isn't 85 anymore. What are we doing? Again, a close point spread. It should be a good game, regardless. Who's out there playing. I think with the Vikings, with basically the rookie J.J. McCarthy coming in, he was hurt last year. I think he'll struggle on the speed of the NFL play on a Monday night game. So I'm going to go with the Bears.
Wow.
So I'll go with the Bears. It was
All
a tough
that
one to
trash
go
talk, and you're taking the Bears.
Well, both teams. I'm not a fan of either.
So, hey, whoa. Before we get started here, we need to talk about something with this game. Brian used to be a Vikings fan his whole life, and now all of a sudden he's not a Vikings fan after the last couple of years, and he jumped and went to the Lions. So, so this just wanted to get that out there before you.
Ever since they traded Jared Goff to the Lions, I've been a Lions fan.
Yeah, that's the reason.
Yeah, and I'm not really the new Viking cheerleaders. Just don't. So wow, boy. You know, we've been hearing every year, all the Bears fans, that this is the year. And I actually think this year will probably be not their year. I'm going with the Vikings.
Big surprise, big surprise. Well, I'm with you guys. You know, I think I'm going to have to, not a chance. Definitely taking the Bears at +1.5 at home. They're going to be wanting to show everybody across football that this is the year. And Caleb Williams is the man. So Bears +1.5 for sure.
Okay, so I don't know if you guys could elaborate on 1985. I know that Bob and I probably don't know it very well.
Yeah, right.
Not a lot of memories there, but you know, this matchup probably, you know, tried and true. Been around a long time. I'm probably going Skol on this one. Vikes all the way.
I'm on my own again.
Good pick. Good pick.
Yeah.
Oh, you're the Bears too. Yeah, that's right.
Good pick.
Smart guy over there. That's why he's a banker, folks. And the final game.
Oh, no.
The big one. Iowa at Iowa State. This game is in Ames, Jack Trice Stadium, and we've got Iowa State -2.5.
Yeah, this is the big one. You know, this is the Super Bowl of the in-state rivalry every single year. So a lot of excitement, going to be a lot of buzz, a lot of cool stuff happening this week. You know, I obviously am going Hawks all the way. I can't say that I'm not a little bit nervous, because I am. You know, but hopefully the Hawks can pull it together, have a good week of practice, and see what they can do.
I mean, that's a good pick. You know, that's the thing about the Iowa State game is I don't know that it really matters who's ranked, who's not ranked, what the record is. You know, it's going to be a game, no matter if it's in Ames or Iowa City. This year, I think this is the year for Iowa State. I think they have a chance to make a run. It's not because of any certain reason other than I just think Campbell's got a really good team this year. So that's nothing against Iowa, because Iowa could come in and spoil it for sure. But me and Brian are kind of the same in this aspect. Is you see, there's a lot of fans in Iowa that you're either an Iowa or an Iowa State fan, you know, and then you hate the other team. Honestly, it drives me crazy. It does, because I like both teams. I mean, I'm probably more of an Iowa fan in the football than I am Iowa State, but I'm always rooting for Iowa State. And typically when it comes to this game, it comes down to whoever I think has a better chance to make a run that year. And I just feel like Iowa State is that team in the Big 12. So I'm going with Iowa State.
Well, my up.
You're up. Oh, we got Lee Corso. What are we going with? The Raiders hats off.
It's a tough one. I like both of them, but I have to go with the Cyclones. At home.
Taking the Cyclones.
Rocco Beck's hot. Iowa's quarterback still got a little ways to go, so I'm going with the Cyclones.
Did not think that was going to be your pick. That's I like the Lee Corso though. I'm going to look forward to that each and every week. See what we got. You know, folks know me. You know, I'm a huge Cyclone fan. Have been my whole life. Went to Northern Iowa, which a lot of people don't know. So I'm a graduate of Northern Iowa with Brian. So,
Tutored him.
Yep, got me through that junior year accounting. It was hard.
Stats.
Yeah.
There's so much wrong in that sentence, that comment. But yeah, no. Anyway, but same. You know, my wife's a Hawkeye fan. My youngest son went to Iowa, so we you know, you'll see me at, actually people don't believe that. You'll see me at both stadiums throughout the year. So I like going to the football games regardless of where they are. And good football is always good football. And I won't cheer against Iowa except for 1 week a year. And this is almost no matter what, I'll always pick Iowa State. It's really hard though. 0-6 in Ames. You know, Iowa State hasn't won at home against Iowa in a long time. And, you know, last year was come from behind at the very last second, which was incredible. Great kick to win it. You got 2 great kickers this year. I think it's going to come down to that again. I think it's going to be a tight game, and it's going to be special teams and turnovers. And it's, to me, a trap game for Iowa State. They're playing really good, and that scares the living tar out of me because they're playing really, really good right now, and Iowa had kind of a questionable game, and so that's a danger team to play right now.
I agree.
But I'm going to Iowa State.
Funny thing with Brian's comment there about tutoring Dan, if you get a chance, why it's even funnier for me, go on YouTube and look for the UNI, it's a UNI game on ESPN2. ESPN2, right? Is that the game? ESPN, was it ESPN? And anyway, he had a heck of a game. I want to say he had 3 touchdowns that game, but then they have an interview with him after the game, and you have to listen to the interview. And that's all I've got to say. Just find the game on YouTube. So,
Well, to come back on that, Bob has no idea what he's talking about because the interview he's talking about is during the Shrine Bowl.
oh shoot, you're right. It was a shrine.
I know I'm right.
Yeah.
You weren't even born.
Yeah, but he did have 3 touchdowns on ESPN too. But go find the Shrine Bowl interview with Brian Baker on YouTube. It's definitely worth it.
Yes, I did.
Talk to the young man who scored the touchdown. Let's go to Steve.
That's right, Bob. There hadn't been any thrills and spills in this game until Brian Baker made that touchdown catch. And Brian, if you would, describe the pattern for us.
There's a flag. I had to take 3 steps in and shoot for the flag in front of the end zone, and it was there. Todd made a real nice pass.
Did you know it was 6 points when you took off?
Yeah. Yes, I did.
So that takes us to the lock pick of the week. And we will start with Dan on the lock pick of the week. So who's your lock, Dan?
You know, and this is where, based on how we've picked so far, this is, I think, the only way I get a chance to beat you all is that hopefully I pick a game you guys aren't to get my 4 points. And for me, looking through it, again, kudos to you. Really tight spreads. They're not easy picks. But I'm going to go with Oklahoma. I'm going to go Oklahoma's going to be my lock, and we're going to get 4 points there, see if they can't beat Michigan, and we'll see if we can't separate a little bit there at the final.
I think there's some thinking into that one because you're probably going to be the only one that takes that game.
Yeah.
So not a bad pick.
You know what? Just to start out with a bang, I'm going with Michigan as my lock.
There you go. I like it. The heavyweight fight right there.
Yes.
And for me, lock of the week is your Chicago Bears, for sure.
My gosh.
Gonna start hitting out the hole, isn't he?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, so I think I'm going to go with the Lions for my lock.
That's
I
a
think
good
they got
one.
it. They got it handled.
Well, I tell you, I like our picks. We've got a lot of different ones, so there's going to be a leader and there's going to be somebody in the gutter. There's no doubt about it. So, and with that said, also every week we will have a different guest. So, if you would like to be a guest, give us a shout, give us a call. We'd like to put you on. Just know that if you get last place, you will have to donate to one of our charities that Wes, I, or Brian picks. Oh.
Plus, you got to take Brian to Bogies if you want to be on the show.
It's not. Hey, they'll be opening up soon.
That's why I'm saying it.
I don't think we mentioned our series name of this. So if you look, probably in the corner bug, possibly, or even on our TV, it's called "Beat the Undertakers." I don't know if you get it or not, but Undertakers. Now we know Wes is the third host of this,
Underwriter.
and there we go. Now there's another one comparison with that too. He may not be an Undertaker, but him and the Undertaker are both very large men. Now, and that's the WWF Undertaker that was. Now, the real Undertaker is definitely a lot tougher than Wes. Wes is, but it is what it is. So, you want to take it away with what we say at the end of every podcast? Do you remember?
Oh boy, you did just popping this on
Is that
me?
too many concussions from all the scratches on that helmet? Okay.
I'll let you say it, Bob, this time.
Life is short, death is certain, and everything in between is worth talking about. We'll see you next week.